I made the decision to break up with Layla Freeman as I opened my eyes once more. She wanted to take Charles Jones and his son home so she could take care of them, so I would logically leave. I had a lot of arguments with Layla in my former life because of Charles and his son. She paid for Charles's son's wedding using the money I had saved for my retirement. Ultimately, the bitter cold killed me in the winter. When Layla found out about that, she was not filled with sadness. Rather, she accused me of dying on her godson's wedding day. I would leave her and not have anything to do with her in this life. The college has reserved a spot for you to study abroad. Discuss this with your family if you would like to go. Yes, I would love to. I anxiously flexed my fingers, and my palms started sweating. I agitatedly expressed my decision again. Surprise gleamed in Alex Smith's eyes. He was my lecturer. Will Layla agree? In my former life, I gave up the chance to go abroad to be with Layla Freeman, my fiancée. But after that, she wanted to further her studies and went to North Call, where Charles Jones and his son, Caleb Jones, were. I could only stay in Liville because of my career. I transferred money to her every month for her studies. I also cared for her parents and her troublemaker of a younger brother. At first, I thought that we could start a family after she graduated. But she made an excuse about her career and did not come home after graduation. She would only text me when she needed money. Finally, I could meet her during the new year. However, she came home with Charles and Caleb. She expressed pity for the widower and his son, which made me speechless. After that, they watched the New Year parade together and took pictures at Sky Square. They were close like a family, which made me express my jealousy. I told her that her parents wanted grandchildren and that I wanted to have children with her. However, fury gripped her. Zane McCoy. You can't be this selfish. I'm working hard right now. I can't have kids. I compromised to quell her anger. I valued her career, but she resigned so that she could take care of Charles and Caleb better. Besides, she used the money I had saved for retirement for Caleb's wedding. My leg hurt terribly during that winter, but I was too poor to see a doctor. Moreover, the temperature at home was freezing. It made me shiver. I tried calling Layla for money, but she hung up on me repeatedly. I could not hold on since I was old. In the end, I froze to death. I was found a month later. A police officer informed Layla about it. At first, I assumed that she would feel guilty when she saw me. But I was wrong. She wore a resentful face as she complained that I had passed away on her godson's wedding day. Look what have you done, Zane McCoy. You didn't even die on a less important day. Stop disgusting me. At that moment, I felt disappointment fill my very being. Fortunately, God gave me another chance. During this life, I would have nothing to do with her. I looked firmly at Alex. This is my affair. I don't have to ask anyone else. After a brief pause, Alex nodded with gratification. He had not expected me to say such a thing, given how madly I was in love with Layla. You're all grown up, certainly. I was much more mature since I had lived twice. I bade him goodbye and went home. Layla was not home yet. But luckily, I was used to it. I made some pasta for myself. But there was some noise at the door while I was eating it. Layla came home with Charles and Caleb. Charles and Caleb smoothly took off their shoes and coats at the door. Besides, the three of them talked and laughed while praising the movie they had watched that day. They were stunned briefly when they found me in the living room. Charles was wearing a cashmere sweater and a pair of sweatpants. He was the first to break the stalemate. I'm sorry, Zane. I just got back to Liville and didn't get to clean my house up. So, I brought Caleb here for a meal. I'm sure you won't mind. If I was not mistaken, he had been back for 3 months. Charles pushed up his gold-rimmed glasses as he cracked an annoying smile. Caleb leaped and ran to me, pointing at my pasta and asking for some of it. He also insisted that I make it for him. You can't be rude to Mr. McCoy. But I want some pasta. I'm Ms. Freeman's guest. It's not a big deal to ask him to make some pasta for me. Charles feigned helplessness. Layla did not say anything. Instead, she dragged me to the kitchen with a clear intention. However, displeasure washed over her because I remained motionless. Stop being mad at a child. He likes your cooking because you cook well. At first, I thought she would mock me more. Unexpectedly, she stopped talking and started cooking some pasta attentively. Caleb liked food with a richer taste. Hence, Layla added some peppers to the pasta. When she served it, she told Caleb to be careful since the pasta was hot. On the other hand, my cold pasta was laid aside and was ignored. I would have gotten jealous in my previous life. But I was not sad when I saw the three of them talking and laughing at the dining table. All I could think of was getting out of there as early as possible. Before I bade Alex goodbye, he told me that the tentative date for going abroad was set for the 20th of the next month. You can use this period to handle your stuff. I shared Alex's thoughts. I had to cancel my engagement with Layla before I went abroad. Her parents had given their blessings to our marriage. Besides, we knew each other well since we grew up together. Thus, we got engaged after our college entrance examination. This was common during the 1980s. It was not a big deal to cancel the engagement. But I was indebted to Layla's parents. I had to visit them and tell them about it. I wondered when would be the right time. Zane. We're leaving. Charles's voice disrupted my thoughts. I looked up and scanned them. Caleb hugged Layla and refused to let go. Ms. Freeman, I want to sleep with you and Daddy. Charles glanced at me before he loudly rebuked Caleb. Nonsense, it sounded like he purposely said that for me. You're not a baby. Stop pestering Ms. Freeman. It's embarrassing. Don't say that about Caleb. Layla never stopped smiling. Charles rubbed his temples and pretentiously heaved a sigh. I'm worried that Zane might overthink. After all, you guys are engaged to each other. He didn't say anything when I came with Caleb and while Caleb was eating. I'm afraid he has a problem with me. He smiled bitterly. Caleb is insensible, but I can't be rude. He's always had a poker face. Stop overthinking. Layla watched them off. I thought she would make an excuse and would not come home. Unexpectedly, she re-entered the house in 2 minutes. I didn't come home in time to celebrate your birthday with you today. Are you mad? Birthday? Stunned, I recalled that it was my birthday. But I had never celebrated it since my parents had passed away. In the past, I did mention it to her, but she did not take it to heart. She took my silence as an approval and pursed her lips to explain herself. Didn't I tell you? I took care of him due to my best friend's dying wish. I promised her I would take good care of him. I can't break my promise. She softened her tone because of my silence. I won't bring them home again. I silently did the dishes. Layla did not notice something wrong with me. She kept telling me that her parents sprained their ankles when they were doing farm work. I have a lot of classes these days, I calmly said. I'll visit them. I could grab that chance to make things clear to her parents. Instantly, she smiled. She pounced on me to hug me, but I dodged her. She reeked of cigarettes.